The gentle hum of the UES Glacier-Force's engines filled the bridge as Lieutenant Raj stood at the helm, his fingers dancing across the holographic controls. The massive battleship, humanity's pride and joy, glided silently through the dark expanse of space. Its brilliant white hull gleamed under distant starlight, a testament to the quantum cooling technology that made it unique among Earth's fleet. "Status report on the cooling systems," called out Captain Patel, her voice steady despite the weight of command. She'd earned her position through years of dedication and now found herself in charge of humanity's most advanced vessel. The quantum cooling system wasn't just about maintaining comfortable temperatures, it was a revolutionary technology that could mask their heat signature and supercharge their weapons beyond anything previously possible. "All systems running at optimal levels, Captain," replied Chief Engineer Zhao from his station. He'd spent the last 5 years helping develop this technology, and his pride showed in every detailed report he delivered. "The quantum cooling units are performing even better than our simulations predicted. We're practically invisible to thermal scanning." The bridge crew worked with the smooth efficiency that came from months of training together. This was supposed to be a routine maiden voyage, a chance to test their systems far from Earth's busy shipping lanes. But fate had other plans. "Captain," called out Sensor Officer Kumar, his voice cutting through the calm atmosphere. "I'm picking up something unusual on the long-range scanners." His hands moved quickly over his console, bringing up detailed readings on the main view screen. Multiple objects approaching at high speed. Their formation is too precise to be natural. The crew's attention snapped to their stations. Captain Patel moved to Kumar's console, her expression focused but calm. "Show me," she ordered, leaning in to study the readings. The objects were moving with purpose, their trajectory bringing them directly toward Earth's solar system. "Energy signatures are off the charts," Kumar reported, his voice tight with concentration. "Nothing in our database matches these readings. They're either using technology we've never seen before, or they're not from Earth at all." Captain Patel finished the thought. The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. First contact. The moment humanity had both dreamed of and dreaded for centuries. "Communications, begin broadcasting standard greeting protocols on all frequencies," ordered Captain Patel. "Engineering, I want full power to our sensors. We need to know exactly what we're dealing with." The next few minutes were tense as the crew worked to gather more information. The unknown vessels were moving faster than anything in Earth's fleet could manage, and their energy readings suggested weapons capabilities that made Earth's most powerful battleships look like toys. "Captain," called out Lieutenant Raj from the helm, his voice carefully controlled. "Based on their current trajectory and speed, they'll reach our position in less than 30 minutes. We're the only Earth ship within range to intercept." Captain Patel stood in the center of the bridge, her mind racing through options. The Glacier-Force was untested in actual combat, but its revolutionary cooling system might give them an advantage, or at least a chance to protect Earth if things went wrong. "Sound General Quarters," she ordered, her voice carrying across the bridge. "All hands to battle stations. Get me a secure channel to Earth Command. They need to know what we're facing." As alerts began blaring throughout the ship, she added, "And power up the quantum cooling system to maximum capacity. Something tells me we're going to need every advantage we can get." The crew moved with practiced precision, but there was an electric tension in the air. They had trained for countless scenarios, but nothing could truly prepare them for being humanity's first line of defense against an unknown alien force. As the massive alien fleet drew closer, the Glacier-Force's systems hummed with power, its quantum-cooled hull ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The fate of Earth might well rest on how they handled the next few hours. The bridge of the Glacier-Force hummed with tension as the alien fleet drew closer. Lieutenant Kumar's fingers flew across his console, analyzing every bit of data they could gather about the approaching vessels. "Captain, I'm detecting energy signatures unlike anything we've ever seen. Their power output, it's massive. Keep broadcasting peaceful intentions on all frequencies," Captain Patel ordered, her voice steady despite the pressure. The communications officer, Lieutenant Sado, nodded as she continued sending Earth's carefully crafted first contact messages in every known format. "They're responding," Lieutenant Sado suddenly announced, causing everyone on the bridge to hold their breath. The main screen flickered to life, showing a strange geometric pattern that pulsed with an eerie rhythm. It's not like any communication format we've seen before. Chief Intelligence Officer Singh stepped forward, his eyes narrowing as he studied the pattern. The sequence suggests intelligence, but his words were cut short as the alien fleet suddenly accelerated, breaking formation into an aggressive attack pattern. Multiple weapon systems powering up across their fleet, Kumar shouted, his screens blazing with warning indicators. Energy readings are off the scale. Captain Patel's training kicked in instantly. Shield to maximum. Bring the quantum cooling system to full power. All hands, prepare for combat maneuvers. The crew responded with practiced efficiency, but fear was visible in their eyes. This wasn't a drill. They were about to become the first humans to engage in interstellar combat. The first alien blast caught them off guard. The entire ship shuddered as energy weapons far beyond Earth's technology slammed into their shields. Shield capacity at 60%, reported Engineering Officer Jao, his hands dancing across controls as he fought to maintain power distribution. Their weapons, Singh observed, studying the attack patterns. They're testing us, probing our defenses. These aren't just random attacks. They're gathering data on our capabilities. Captain Patel gripped her command chair as another blast rocked the ship. Can we get any reading on their hull composition? Their weak points? She demanded, knowing they needed to find some advantage, no matter how small. The quantum cooling is working in our favor, Jao reported, a hint of hope in his voice. Their sensors seem confused by our heat signature or lack thereof. They're having trouble getting a solid lock on us. But the alien fleet was adapting quickly. 3 of their smaller ships moved to flank the Glacier-Force, while their larger vessels maintained a relentless barrage. The human crew worked frantically, their training being pushed to its limits against technology centuries ahead of their own. Captain, Kumar called out suddenly. They're launching some kind of pods. Dozens of them, heading straight for us. The tactical display showed swarms of smaller objects breaking away from the alien ships, moving with impossible speed and agility. Evasive maneuvers. Captain Patel ordered. Rotate shield frequencies. Don't let them find a pattern. Lieutenant Raj's hands flew over the helm controls, making the massive battleship dance through space with surprising grace. The quantum cooling system strained under the pressure, but held steady, continuing to mask their thermal signature and confuse the alien targeting systems. This isn't just an attack, Singh realized, watching the patterns emerge. Look at how they're moving. They're hurting us, trying to push us away from Earth's direction. They want something specific. Captain Patel stood from her chair, watching as another wave of alien weapons fire lit up space around them. Their advanced technology was overwhelming, but humanity's newest ship was holding together, surprising even its own crew with its resilience. If they want to push us back, then they clearly consider us a threat, she said, her mind racing through options. And if we're a threat, then we have a chance. Zhao, how much more power can you give to the quantum cooling system? It's already past recommended limits, Zhao replied, but there might be a way to redirect power from non-essential systems. It's risky, but it could give us an edge they're not expecting. As the alien fleet pressed their attack, the crew of the Glacier-Force prepared to make their stand. They were outnumbered and outgunned, but they had something the aliens didn't expect: human ingenuity and the will to survive. The next few minutes would determine not just their fate, but potentially the fate of all humanity. The air on the bridge crackled with tension as Chief Engineer Zhao rushed in, his uniform showing signs of his frantic work in the engine room. "Captain," he called out, clutching a tablet filled with calculations. "I think I've found a way to turn this fight around." Captain Patel turned from the tactical display, where the alien fleet's overwhelming force was clearly visible. "Make it quick, Zhao. We're running out of options." Another blast rocked the ship, making everyone grab onto nearby consoles for support. "The quantum cooling system," Zhao explained, his eyes bright with excitement despite the chaos. "We designed it to work within safe limits, but I've been studying the data from this battle. If we push it beyond those limits, way beyond, we could do something the aliens won't expect." Lieutenant Kumar looked up from his sensor readings. "But wouldn't that risk a complete system failure? We could lose all power." The fear in his voice was matched by the concern on other crew members' faces. That's just it, Zhao continued, pulling up complex diagrams on the main screen. The system doesn't just cool the ship, it can absorb and redirect energy. If we reconfigure it, we could potentially absorb their weapon fire and use it to power our own systems. The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. It was a desperate plan, but they were in a desperate situation. Another hit rattled the ship, and warning lights flashed across every console. "Shields at 30%, called out Lieutenant Sato. "We can't take much more of this." Captain Patel studied the diagrams, her mind racing through possibilities. "What are the risks, Zhao? Give it to me straight." "If it works, we'll have power levels beyond anything we've ever achieved," he explained. "If it fails," he paused, swallowing hard. "The cooling system could rupture. We'd lose all power, all weapons, all life support. We'd be dead in space." The tactical officer spoke up from his station. "The aliens are regrouping for another attack run. Whatever we're going to do, we need to decide now." Captain Patel stood in the center of the bridge, feeling the weight of command more heavily than ever before. The lives of her crew, and potentially the fate of Earth itself, rested on this decision. She looked at each crew member's face, seeing determination mixed with fear. "How long would it take to make these modifications?" she asked Zhao. 20 minutes, maybe 15 if I push it," he replied. "But once we start, there's no going back." Another blast rocked the ship. "Shields at 25%. Sato's voice was tense. Port side taking heavy damage. "Do it," Captain Patel ordered. "Lieutenant Raj, keep us moving. Buy engineering as much time as you can. Tactical, focus all remaining power on defensive systems. We just need to hold out a little longer." Tao rushed back to engineering while the rest of the crew worked with renewed purpose. The Glacier-Force weaved through space, its movements becoming more desperate as systems began to fail under the relentless alien assault. In engineering, Zhao and his team worked at lightning speed, rerouting systems and pushing the quantum cooling technology far beyond its designed limits. Warning alerts blared constantly as they bypassed safety protocols and rewrote operating parameters on the fly. Engineering to bridge, Zhao's voice came through after what felt like hours but was only minutes. "We're ready to begin the power-up sequence. But Captain, everyone needs to be ready. The next few minutes will either make history or—" "Understood," Captain Patel replied firmly. "All hands, brace for possible system overload. Engineering on my mark." The alien fleet seemed to sense something was happening. Their attacks intensified, trying to finish off the human ship before it could complete whatever it was attempting. The bridge crew watched as power readings began to climb beyond anything their systems were designed to handle. "Now, Zhao," Captain Patel ordered, "take us beyond the limits." The lights dimmed across the ship as power was diverted to the quantum cooling system. In the next few moments, they would either change the course of the battle or lose everything. The crew held their breath, united in their desperate gamble for survival. The deck plates vibrated beneath the crew's feet as the first wave of alien attacks slammed into the Glacier-Force. Red emergency lights cast an eerie glow across the bridge as smoke curled from several overloaded circuits. Through it all, Captain Patel remained standing, her eyes fixed on the tactical display. "Multiple impacts on decks 3 through 7. Lieutenant Kumar reported, his voice steady despite the chaos. "The quantum cooling system is holding, but barely." The massive viewscreen showed the alien fleet's attack formation, a deadly dance of advanced warships that made Earth's most powerful vessels look like toys. Their weapons fire lit up space like artificial lightning, each blast carrying enough energy to vaporize a conventional battleship. "They're testing the new cooling configuration," Officer Singh observed from his tactical station. "Each attack pattern is different. They're trying to find our weakness." As if to prove his point, a new barrage hit them from an unexpected angle, making the ship groan in protest. "Engineering status report," Captain Patel demanded, grabbing her chair as another impact rocked the bridge. Chief Engineer Zhao's voice crackled through the comm system, backed by the sound of frantically working repair teams. "The cooling system is performing better than expected, Captain. We're actually absorbing some of their energy weapons, but the power levels are off the charts. We've never dealt with this kind of input before." Lieutenant Sato's hands flew across her console as she worked to maintain their defenses. Shield grid is stressed but adapting. The modified cooling system is giving us more protection than we thought possible. The bridge crew watched in amazement as an alien energy blast struck their hull, but instead of causing damage, the quantum cooling system absorbed it, the energy dispersing through their modified shield grid in a beautiful display of blue-white light. "This is incredible," Rage breathed from the helm. "Their weapons aren't just being stopped, we're actually using their attacks to strengthen our shields." But the aliens weren't done. Their fleet shifted formation again, this time launching what looked like glowing projectiles. New weapon type detected, Kumar warned. "Impact in 5 seconds. Brace for impact," Captain Patel ordered. The crew grabbed their stations as the mysterious weapon struck. This time, the ship shuddered violently, and warning alarms blared from multiple stations. "Damage report," Patel demanded, pulling herself back to her feet. "The new weapons, they're different," Kumar reported, studying his readings. "They're designed to bypass our cooling system somehow. Deck 5 has hull breaches in sections 3 and 4. Emergency force fields are holding." "They're learning," Singh said grimly. "Adapting their tactics faster than any human opponent would." Captain Patel's mind raced through options. They couldn't keep playing defense. They needed to strike back. "Zhao, you said we're absorbing their energy attacks. Can we use that power offensively?" "Theoretically, yes," Zhao replied after a moment's hesitation. "But we've never attempted anything like this. The power levels could overwhelm our weapon systems." Another blast rocked the ship. "Better to try than die doing nothing," Patel decided. "Reroute the absorbed energy to our main cannon. Singh, target their lead vessel's propulsion systems." The crew worked with desperate efficiency, knowing their next move could determine the battle's outcome. Power readings climbed to dangerous levels as they channeled the aliens' own energy back into their weapons. "Weapon charge to 300% normal capacity," Singh reported, his voice tense with concentration. "Firing solution ready." Captain Patel took a deep breath, watching as another wave of alien ships moved to attack position. The next few moments would prove whether humanity could stand against this advanced threat. Fire. The Glacier-Force's main cannon released a beam of energy unlike anything Earth had ever produced. The concentrated power of multiple alien attacks, channeled through human technology, streaked across space toward its target. The bridge crew watched, hearts pounding, as their desperate gamble played out before them. The fate of Earth might well depend on what happened next. Time seemed to freeze as the Glacier-Force's supercharged energy beam cut through space. The bridge crew held their breath, watching as their desperate counterattack reached its target. The alien flagship's shields flared brilliant purple, then collapsed completely. "Direct hit," Singh called out, his voice filled with disbelief and hope. "Their main drive is completely offline." A cheer started to rise from the crew, but died instantly as Lieutenant Kumar shouted, "Multiple ships breaking formation. They're changing strategy." Captain Patel leaned forward, studying the tactical display as the alien fleet moved with impossible speed. "What are they doing?" she muttered, then her eyes widened. "Rage, evasive maneuvers. They're trying to surround us." The massive battleship responded to Rage's commands, but the alien vessels were faster. Within moments, the Glacier-Force found itself at the center of a sphere of hostile ships, each one charging weapons. "They're all targeting the same points on our hull," Singh realized, pointing to the sensor readings. "They've identified weak spots in our cooling system." The ship rocked as the first coordinated blast hit. Warning lights flashed across every console as systems struggled to cope with the concentrated assault. "Engineering to bridge." Joe's voice was barely audible over the sound of failing equipment. "The cooling system can't handle this kind of focused attack. We're losing containment in sections 5 through 8. Captain Patel's mind raced. They'd proven they could hurt the aliens, but now they were paying the price. She watched as more warning indicators lit up across the tactical display. "What if?" Lieutenant Raj suddenly spoke up, his hands hovering over the helm controls. "What if we use their own trick against them? They're surrounding us because they think we're trapped, but the quantum cooling system could be turned into a weapon itself," Kumar finished, catching on. "Captain, if we vent the coolant in a controlled burst." We could create a shockwave of supercooled particles, Zhao cut in over the comm. It would disrupt their sensors, maybe even damage their systems. But he hesitated. We'd only have one shot. After that, we lose the cooling system entirely. Another coordinated blast rocked the ship. Hull breach on Deck 3, Sato reported. Emergency force fields failing. Captain Patel gripped her command chair. Sometimes survival meant taking impossible risks. How long to prepare the coolant burst? 2 minutes, Zhao replied. Maybe less if we bypass safety protocols. They're charging for another attack, Singh warned, reading massive power buildups across all enemy vessels. The captain stood, her decision made. Do it, Zhao. Everyone else, prepare for emergency protocols. When that coolant goes, we'll have minimal systems. Survival gear on all decks. The next 2 minutes felt like hours. The crew worked frantically as the ship groaned around them, systems failing one by one under the relentless alien assault. In engineering, Zhao's team raced to modify the cooling system for one final desperate gambit. Ready on your mark, Captain, Zhao finally reported. But we need to be at the perfect position. Too close and we'll freeze our own systems. Too far and the effect dissipates. Captain Patel watched the tactical display, waiting for the perfect moment as Raj maneuvered their battered ship. The alien vessels pressed closer, thinking they had their prey cornered. Just a few more seconds. Now, she ordered. The Glacier-Force shuddered as its quantum cooling system activated one last time. Supercooled particles erupted from the hull in a massive spherical wave, turning the surrounding space into an instant deep freeze. The alien ships, caught completely by surprise, found their advanced systems failing as the cold penetrated their shields. Several vessels spun out of control, their engines dying in the unprecedented cold. But aboard the Glacier-Force, the crew could only watch and wait. Their gamble had worked, but at what cost? As emergency power kicked in and red lights cast shadows across the bridge, Captain Patel knew the real test was just beginning. Emergency lights pulsed dimly across the bridge as the Glacier-Force drifted through the aftermath of their desperate maneuver. The viewing screens showed an incredible sight. Several alien vessels hung motionless in space, their systems frozen by the quantum cooling burst, while others spun slowly, trying to restore power. Damage report, Captain Patel ordered, her voice hoarse from shouting commands during the chaos. The bridge was noticeably colder now, their breath visible in the emergency lighting. Main power at 15%, Lieutenant Kumar reported, working with backup systems. Life support is functioning but minimal. We have hull breaches on decks 3, 4, and 7 emergency force fields are holding, but they're drawing precious power. Officer Singh studied the tactical readings, his expression brightening. Captain, look at this. 3 enemy ships completely disabled. 4 more showing massive system failures. The rest are pulling back, they're actually retreating. The crew allowed themselves a moment of hope, but Chief Engineer Zhao's voice quickly brought them back to reality. Bridge, we have a serious problem down here. The coolant burst damaged more than just the alien ships. Our engines are failing and the quantum cooling system is completely offline. Captain Patel moved to the engineering station, examining the damage reports. How long to get main power back? Hours, maybe days, Zhao replied grimly. We're running on emergency power, and that won't last forever. Without the cooling system, we can't restart the main engines safely. Lieutenant Sato suddenly straightened at her console. Captain, I'm picking up strange energy readings from one of the disabled alien ships. It's different from their weapons signatures. The main screen flickered to life, showing one of the frozen alien vessels. A peculiar pattern of lights danced across its hull, pulsing in a regular rhythm. It's a signal, Singh realized, moving to help Sato analyze the transmission. They're trying to communicate, but not with weapons this time. The pattern, it's mathematical. Basic sequences, like the ones we included in our first contact messages. The bridge crew watched as more alien ships joined in, their hulls lighting up with the same rhythmic patterns. Even some of the retreating vessels had stopped, adding their lights to the display. They're not just sending math, Sato said excitedly. There's more, I think. Yes, they're transmitting engineering data, specifications, technical readings. Zhao's voice came back over the comm, more animated now. Bridge, are you seeing this? They're showing us how their systems work, including their power restoration protocols. With this information, we might be able to adapt some of their techniques to restart our own systems. Captain Patel studied the pulsing lights, understanding dawning on her face. They're not surrendering, and they're not just retreating. They're acknowledging us as equals. Our quantum cooling technology surprised them as much as their weapons surprised us. Engineering teams report similar light patterns appearing inside the alien vessels through the hull breaches, Kumar added. Their crews are working on repairs, just like us. They're just people trying to survive, just like us. The captain made a decision. Stato, send mathematical acknowledgement of their signals. Jao, work with Seam to decode their engineering data. Focus on anything that could help us restore basic systems. Raj, use maneuvering thrusters to maintain a neutral distance from their vessels. As the crew worked to establish this unexpected dialogue, the atmosphere on the bridge changed. The fear of annihilation gave way to something else, the tentative hope of understanding. Through the viewscreen, they could see alien repair crews emerging from their ships, their movements showing the same careful precision as human spacewalkers. It's incredible, Raj said softly. We had to nearly destroy each other to realize we could talk. Captain Patel nodded, watching as more patterns of light filled space around them. Their quantum cooling technology, designed as a weapon, had instead become a bridge between species. Now they just had to figure out how to cross it. The hours following the quantum cooling burst turned into a desperate race against time. Deep within the Glacier-Force's engineering section, Chief Engineer Zhao wiped sweat from his forehead as he studied the alien technical data streaming across his tablet. Around him, repair crews worked tirelessly, their faces lit by the glow of emergency lights and sparking circuits. Watch that power coupling, he called out as a junior engineer attempted to reconnect a damaged system. The alien data shows their systems run on completely different frequencies. We need to adapt our equipment first. The ship's internal temperature had dropped dangerously low without the main systems online. Crew members worked in thermal gear, their breath visible in the cold air. Every few minutes, another system would fail, adding to their growing list of problems. Engineering to bridge, Zhao called through the comm system. We've got multiple radiation leaks in the cooling system housing. We need to evacuate sections 12 through 15 immediately. Up on the bridge, Captain Patel coordinated the evacuation while Lieutenant Kumar monitored the failing systems. All personnel clear of affected areas, he reported, marking another red zone on the ship's internal map. But we're running out of space to move people. A third of the ship is now inaccessible. The alien vessels are still transmitting technical data, Officer Singh added from his station, but implementing their solutions isn't easy. Their technology operates on principles we barely understand. The ship groaned ominously, metal stress sounds echoing through the corridors. Lieutenant Sato looked up from her communications panel, concern evident in her voice. Hull integrity is dropping in several sections. The battle damage combined with the extreme temperature changes is causing progressive structural failures. Captain Patel stood at the central display, watching as more red warning indicators appeared across the ship's schematic. They had survived the battle, but now they faced a different kind of fight, one against time itself. Captain, Rage called suddenly. The alien ships, they're moving again. The crew tensed, but the alien vessels weren't attacking. Instead, they were forming a loose circle around the damaged Glacier-Force. New patterns of light danced across their hulls, more complex than before. They're not just sending technical data anymore, Singh realized, studying the transmissions. These are repair procedures. They're showing us how they fix battle damage. Down in engineering, Zhao's eyes widened as he decoded the new information. This is incredible. Their repair techniques, they're not just about fixing systems, they're about adapting them. Making them work together, even if they weren't designed to. Can we use any of this? Captain Patel asked, hope creeping into her voice for the first time in hours. Maybe, Zhao replied, his mind racing through possibilities. Their power distribution methods are totally different from ours, but if we reconfigure our remaining functional systems... He trailed off, furiously working calculations on his tablet. A violent shudder ran through the ship. Hull breach on Deck 6, Kumar reported. Emergency force fields failing. Everyone out of that section, Captain Patel ordered. But before the evacuation order could be carried out, something unexpected happened. One of the alien vessels moved closer, extending what looked like an energy field. "They're stabilizing our hull," Sato said in amazement. "Their field is reinforcing our emergency force fields." More alien ships moved in, each one extending similar fields to support different sections of the damaged human vessel. Through the view screens, the crew could see alien repair crews emerging, their sophisticated equipment clearly designed for emergency repairs in space. "They're not just helping us survive," Singh observed. "They're teaching us, showing us how to handle situations like this. Everything they're doing, it's a lesson." Captain Patel watched as human and alien repair teams began working together, using gestures and mathematical symbols to communicate. The Glacier-Force was still in critical condition, but now they had help and hope. "Send our thanks," she ordered Sato. "And tell engineering to pay close attention. Everything we learn here could change the future of human space travel." As the repair efforts continued, the crew realized they were part of something historic. The first true cooperation between human and alien technologies, born from the aftermath of battle. The bridge of the Glacier-Force had transformed into an impromptu first contact center. Lieutenant Sato's communications station was surrounded by screens displaying the complex patterns of light they'd begun to understand as alien language. After hours of intense work, patterns were emerging that went beyond simple mathematical sequences. "Look at this sequence," she said, pointing to a particularly intricate display. "They keep showing us images of their ship's thermal signatures before they encountered us. I think they're trying to explain why they attacked." Officer Singh moved to her station, studying the patterns. "These readings, they're similar to the energy signatures of some kind of weapon they've encountered before. Our quantum cooling system, it made us look like something they feared." Captain Patel leaned forward in her chair, understanding dawning on her face. "So when they detected our ship's unusual thermal signature, they thought we were their enemy. A case of mistaken identity that nearly led to war." "Captain," Kumar called from his station, "I'm picking up new transmissions from the alien fleet. They're sending us star charts, showing us their territory, and something else. Look at these energy readings at the edges of their space." The main screen filled with a map of nearby star systems. Blinking red indicators marked what appeared to be defensive positions, all facing an unknown threat from beyond their borders. "They're not just apologizing," Singh realized. "They're warning us. Whatever they thought we were, it's still out there, real and dangerous." Down in engineering, Chief Engineer Zhao coordinated with alien repair teams through a combination of mathematical formulas and hand signals. The cooperation had led to surprising breakthroughs in repairing their battle damage. "Bridge, you need to see this," Zhao reported excitedly. "The aliens aren't just helping us fix our systems, they're helping us improve them. Their understanding of quantum mechanics is decades ahead of ours." Lieutenant Raj, monitoring the ship's slowly recovering systems, noticed something unusual. Power readings are stabilizing, but in a completely different configuration than before. "It's like they're teaching us a whole new way to run our ship." The alien vessels maintained their protective formation around the Glacier-Force, but their posture had changed. What started as a cautious standoff had evolved into something closer to a teaching circle. "Captain," Sato called out suddenly, "I'm detecting new signal patterns. They're inviting us to follow them once repairs are complete. The coordinates they're sending, it looks like their home system." Captain Patel stood at the center of her bridge, weighing the implications. This was far beyond their original mission parameters, but the opportunity was unprecedented. "Send a message to Earth Command. They need to know everything that's happened here." As she spoke, a new series of lights danced across the alien ship's hulls. Singh worked quickly to decode them. "Captain, this is fascinating. They're not just inviting us to visit, they're offering to help us prepare for whatever threat they're facing. They want to turn the Glacier-Force into a prototype for a new kind of defensive vessel." "It makes sense," Kumar added. "Our quantum cooling technology surprised them. Combined with their advanced systems, it could be the key to defending against their mysterious enemy." The crew watched as more technical data streamed in, designs, specifications, improvements they could only dream of before. What had started as a near-deadly mistake was transforming into something unprecedented, a technological and cultural exchange born from mutual respect and shared challenges. Captain Patel looked around at her crew, seeing the same mix of excitement and uncertainty on their faces that she felt herself. "Send our acceptance of their offer," she ordered Sato. "But make it clear we need to maintain communication with Earth. We're not just explorers anymore, we're ambassadors." As the message was transmitted, the alien vessels began a new light display, this one more elaborate than any before. It spread from ship to ship, creating a spectacular array that could only be interpreted as celebration. The crew of the Glacier-Force watched in awe, knowing they were witnessing the beginning of a new chapter in human history. 2 weeks after the initial encounter, the Glacier-Force hardly looked like the same ship. Alien technology blended seamlessly with human engineering, creating something entirely new. The bridge hummed with power from hybrid systems that combined quantum cooling with advanced alien energy management. "Final system check complete," Chief Engineer Zhao announced proudly from his modified station. The engineering console now displayed both human and alien readings, the result of countless hours of collaboration. All new systems are functioning at 120% of original specifications. Captain Patel stood at the center of her bridge, watching as alien work crews made their final adjustments alongside her own team. Through the view screen, she could see their escort, 3 alien vessels ready to guide them to their home system. "Message from Earth Command," Lieutenant Sato reported, working at her upgraded communications array. "They've reviewed all our data and approved the diplomatic mission. We're officially the first human vessel authorized for deep space cultural exchange." And not a moment too soon, Officer Singh added from Tactical, "The alien data about the unknown threat is concerning. These energy signatures they've detected at their borders. They're getting stronger." Kumar looked up from his sensor station, which now incorporated alien detection technology. "The modifications to our quantum cooling system are incredible. We're not just hiding our heat signature anymore, we can actively manipulate energy fields in ways we never thought possible." The ship's hull gleamed with a new protective coating, a gift from their alien allies. Lieutenant Raj ran his hands over the improved helm controls, marveling at their responsiveness. "It's amazing how quickly we learned to work together once we stopped shooting at each other." "Speaking of learning," Captain Patel said, turning to her crew, "status report on the translation matrix." "Making excellent progress," Sato replied enthusiastically. "Their light-based language is complex but logical. We've already established basic conversational protocols. The universal translator should be fully operational by the time we reach their home system." Through the view screen, they watched as more alien ships arrived, a formal escort fleet to accompany them on their journey. Their hulls pulsed with welcome messages that the crew could now partially understand. "Hard to believe this all started with a misunderstanding," Singh reflected. "Our cooling system made us look like their enemies, but ended up being the key to friendship. And possibly survival," Kumar added soberly. "These readings from their border regions, whatever's out there, it's unlike anything either of our species has encountered before." Captain Patel moved to the front of the bridge, watching as the alien fleet took formation around them. The Glacier-Force was no longer just a human battleship, it had become a symbol of cooperation, a prototype for what 2 civilizations could achieve together. "All stations, prepare for departure," she ordered. "Rage, plot course following our escort's lead. Zhao, monitor the new systems carefully. We're about to take them on their first real test run." The hybrid engines hummed to life, combining human ingenuity with alien efficiency. The stars on the view screen began to shift as the ship moved into position. "Captain," Sato called out, "the alien flagship is transmitting one final message before we begin." She worked at her console, translating the pattern of lights. "They say, 'Together, we are stronger than alone. The stars await us.'" Captain Patel smiled, feeling the weight of history in this moment. What had begun as a routine patrol had transformed into humanity's first step into a larger community among the stars. The quantum cooling system, designed for war, had instead opened the door to peace. "Send our response," she ordered. "Tell them we're ready. Lieutenant Raj, take us out." The Glacier-Force moved forward in perfect formation with its alien escorts, its modified hull gleaming under the starlight. Behind them, Earth grew smaller, while ahead, the promise of new discoveries and shared knowledge beckoned. They had started this journey as soldiers and potential enemies. They would continue it as explorers and allies, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them in the depths of space.